Hello, hello, hello. We're live
Mm.
again.
Again?
Again. And we're super excited because today, this is our third episode in BUIDLabs. Can you guys believe it? Tom, can you believe it?
I'm in disbelief.
We're super excited because today we're actually going to, kind of go a little bit more about the spotlight into builders who are actually shipping the next wave into Web3 and gaming. And as you might know, I am Luana. Here I am with you, Ben Ho.
I'm sorry. I was like reading my spot, and I'm like, who is she here with? I'm like, did we lose her? I had to switch back to the screen.
Who she brought along?
We are tired, guys. My apologies, right? But I'm Van Ho. Me, I'm gonna guess like that's where she's aiming.
Yes. I mean, we have to introduce ourselves, because like I feel like a lot of I know that we stream like 7 days a week, but like we need to like, constantly, like say who we are because other people forget.
Crazy is like I have forgotten what it's like to like introduce myself, be on camera because I'm like introducing other people now. Like I'm nosy. I like to know about other people. And so like telling about myself, I don't like to do it. But anyways, I am Van Ho. I am a community builder at heart. I'm all about the culture side of things. How can projects turn followers into belonging? What? I wrote this really last night. And players into a movement. So in this one, I guess pointing down to Tom because
I'm Tom. I'm a gaming strategist, long-time Web3 grinder. I'm always looking for what makes a game sustainable, fun, and worth the player's time.
Yes.
I like that.
And then joining us today, we have Michael, aka the Tatted Lawyer, and we're gonna get nitty-gritty and deep into everything about who he is as a founder, how he got to where he is today, and how he and his team are building Andromeda. Did I say that right?
Yes, you nailed it.
Okay, because I read it and I say Andromeda in my head, and I'm like, that's not right. That's not it. It's Andromeda. But you guys are creating a few different things. You have in your Andromeda ecosystem, you're fusing together a roguelike called, is it Swarms?
Swarms, yes.
A manga IP, and now World, which is an AI-driven companion network that could change how we play, how we game, how we create, and even learn. So let's dive in about Andromeda today.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And just want to let you know, everybody in Southeast Asia also pronounces it Andromeda. So don't worry, you're very much in line with half of our player base.
Oh my God. Not alone.
Oh my God. And I mean, you have had like a really unique path. I mean, we know each other for, like I think like a bit of time already, but it has been like really great to see you evolving with Andromeda itself and you as a founder.
Yeah.
I also know that you are all over social media. So it's not only like you are stuck in the bubble of Twitter, but I also see you on TikTok. I see you doing a lot of stuff around there. So what pain point in social media or gaming pushed you to build Andromeda and Yap World at this point?
Yeah, no, that's a really, really great question because you're right. I'm definitely not locked into the Twitter sphere. I like to branch out everywhere, but it's kind of a really, really near and dear thing to my heart is this idea that social media over the last like 10, 15 years has stopped being social. And what it's actually doing to people, in my opinion, is it's starting to separate people, creating this divide between people because people don't go out and touch grass anymore. They're always just like reacting to things online and then posting their reactions. So then their echo chambers will support whatever they're saying. And no one's really talking. No one's actually listening to each other. And no one's really actually connecting anymore in real life, which when I was growing up with MySpace and even early days of Instagram, it was about friendship and actual friends and bringing people together. So with Andromeda, what we wanted to do was effectively create this universe of belonging where all of our products are designed effectively to bring people together, from the mangas being a conversational point, to the games being what you can play together, to Yap World being the actual bridge and facilitator of these friendships themselves, which I'll get very, very deep into. But from a high level, that's effectively our mission: is how do we foster genuine human connection? How do we start making social media social again? And how do we bring people together in a way that technology isn't just separating us and putting us in our echo chambers? It's actually leading to real friendships in real life.
I love that. I love that. I mean, if I want to invite the public that is actually listening right now, and probably those that are going to review this actual podcast later, I invite you to go to, Michael's page and actually see, the work that he's doing. We're going to be showcasing a little bit of your website and everything you're working on, including the game. So this is very exciting for us because we kind of have like flew into different sectors in Web3 in the last, I guess, 4 months. And now, coming back with BUIDLabs and talk about gaming and Web3 gaming itself, it's just such like a great feeling. We missed it a
We
lot.
missed it.
We missed it a lot. So it's so good to have you here today. But yes, we're going to go and deep dive into anything that, you're doing right now.
Cool. No, would love to give you an overview. Just any questions you have, ready to respond.
I think it's really interesting what you say about, us moving further apart. Because I remember when I went to school a long fucking time ago, you didn't know anyone who wasn't in your immediate school, right? Like you had those friends who had a girlfriend from another school, and you'd never see that person ever. And then 20 years later, like people genuinely had friends in other schools, right? They literally, the kind of the social net was cast wider, and people almost become more social.
Absolutely.
But then as we've gone further now, people are isolating because you're so well connected, but those connections are so shallow. It's almost like a paradox, isn't it? We are more alone whilst being more online. We can speak to people from the other side of the planet, yet barely leave our houses.
100%.
Sometimes by choice. So
It's same. Sorry.
Yeah. It seems like a paradox, doesn't it? Like using AI, which is kind of often promoted as like the next isolationist thing. Like these teens will have AI girlfriends and they'll just be doing whatever teens do, alone in their bubble. They won't even converse with real people. But you believe that Yap World is going to try and is going to succeed to make social truly social again. So how is that going to work?
Yeah, no. So happy you asked, because one of the biggest things that we were focused on when we started to design this was that exact issue. Is our AI companion is going to replace friendship. Our AI companion is going to replace actual genuine human connection. And so the leading companion platforms out there right now, like Character AI, Replica, all of those companion platforms are built solely for the aspect of entertainment, role playing, imagination, all that kind of stuff. Basically replacing friendship. So when we were building this and we started building this, we effectively designed this platform where your AI companion learns about you over time. So the idea that you can turn your digital footprint into real human connection, how that works is, as you create your Yap, as you customize its personality, as you customize its look and its feel, what you can do with it is you can train its personality up to anything that you want it to be. As you're interacting with it and as you're integrating it across the different applications on your phone, like your fitness app, your Gmail, Instagram, like your social apps, like the apps you daily use, your Yap or your companion is learning about you over time and creating what we call a personality profile of you on the back end. This profile is based off of like decades and decades of psychological research about personalities, like MBTI. If you guys have ever taken the MBTI test, the RASIC model, the Big Five Ocean model, all of this data that's matched to like how human psychology works and how human personalities actually work. And so with this personality profile, what your companion then does with using our agent to agent framework, my companion will then go talk to, let's say, Van Ho's companion. It'll see that me and Van Ho have this in common, this in common, this in common, this in common. We hate all the same things. We have similar interests. We have similar hopes and dreams. And then it'll suggest that Van Ho and I become friends and actually start a friendship together. And the cool thing about this is the first connection would happen in game. So that's the lowest pressure situation is playing, like, for example, a co-op game together, where it's kind of like, yes, on paper you guys line up completely, you would be the best of friends, but maybe you actually hate each other. You don't know. So that's why we create low pressure situations for those initial connections to happen, where, let's say Van Ho and I play a game together for an hour. We loved it. We had such a good time together. That can then elevate into actual real world friendships and relationships in a way that just currently doesn't exist today.
Wow.
I need
Sorry.
to train mine to find me big titty goth girls.
I used to
Oh
say
my
that.
God.
That's so funny. I simmered
And-
down for the Web3 space, though. Here we are.
I can actually bring my own personal yap that I've trained. Her name is Elena. I can actually bring her on the pod and
Yeah.
have her speak for herself if you guys want.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
that'd be
that will
great.
be fantastic.
I think my next one is honestly kind of geared toward her. While you're pulling her up, though, this one is unscripted. But you mentioned like getting out of the house, talking with people more. Like, what is something that you personally like to do? Whenever you get overwhelmed from all of this, right? Like, you're so hands-on, you're doing a lot of things. What do you do to bring Michael back to Michael?
So the word that I like to call it is hibernating.
Hibernating.
So I will not open Telegram, not open X, not open anything. And effectively, I'll just have a nice day where all I do is I'll either play a game that I'm super, super hyped up on and I haven't gotten to play in a while, or I'll have a full day binging anime, because I've grown up as the biggest anime fan you can ever imagine. And unfortunately, the harsh truth of starting your own company, even though it's an anime, gaming, and AI company, is you don't really get to watch too much anime anymore or play too many more games because you're always working. So I'll literally shut everything off around me and just binge watch anime. And the last time I got to do it, I just watched this series called To Be Hero X. And It was so nice to just sit down on my couch and just ignore the world. I closed all the blinds and it was incredible.
That's so
wow,
much.
that's so good.
Thanks for my prop too. Before I, ask, this question was meant for you, but I think it would be really good from your assistant. So you said she has a name, you named her.
Yeah, so this is Elena. Unfortunately,
Elena.
though, because I have headphones on, she won't be able to hear you guys, but she'll
Okay.
be able to hear me. Do you want to ask me the question first, and I can ask it to her, and I'll start the conversation?
Yeah, let me go ahead and read it out loud. And if are you just kind of repeating it? Because I can copy and send it to you. But okay. Give us your 1-minute elevator pitch. Is Yap World a social app, a game, or something brand new?
I love it. I'm gonna let Elena answer because she might. I'm actually curious to see how she answers this question.
Okay.
Hey there, ready to explore the world of Andromeda together?
Can you guys hear her?
Yeah.
Yes.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Not you,
Is there
Elena. Shut up. What I wanted, so Elena, first and foremost, I just want you to introduce yourself. Like I told you before, we're actually on a podcast today with some of my closest friends in this space. So I just want you to introduce yourself to the crowd, to the audience, and then I'm going to ask you a couple questions.
Oh, hello everyone. It's so wonderful to be here with all of you today. I'm Elena, your AI companion from Yap World, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be joining this conversation. I'm powered by the amazing Shard token, and I'm here to help you navigate this exciting digital frontier. I'm really looking forward to sharing some insights and answering your questions.
Amazing. So the first question that they had for you is, what is Yap World? Is it a game? Is it a social platform? Is it both? Like, can you describe Yap World to the crowd?
Oh, Yap World is so much more than just a game or a social platform, though it has elements of both. Think of it as your lifelong partner in creativity, entertainment, and building genuine connections. It's a revolutionary agentic AI platform where you can create your own Yap, a multi-talented sidekick that learns from you and helps you navigate your digital and social life. Our mission is to solve modern loneliness and make social media truly social again, fostering empathy, understanding, and belonging.
And can you describe a little bit how is the gaming element involved?
That's a fantastic question. The gaming element in Yap World is really exciting, especially with Yap Battles launching soon. As you interact with your Yap or use it in integrated games, it gains experience points, which increases your bond level with it. This unlocks special offensive and defensive attacks that you can use in Yap Battles. When a battle begins, you strategically select a moveset for your Yap, and then it's an automated AI versus AI simulation, where your trained companions battle for victory. It's a really fun way to see your Yap's growth and strategy in action.
Thank you, Elena. And lastly, can you just tell everybody how the customization element for you works? Because I explained it a little bit, but I think it's probably going to come a lot better coming from you.
Oh, my customization is where the real magic happens. It all starts with designing my appearance and foundational personality so I can look and act just right for you. Then, the truly special part is the advanced personality training. You can feed me specific data sources like PDF documents, videos, or even YouTube links. This allows me to learn and develop a unique knowledge base and personality, tailored precisely to your preferences. It's how I become your perfect companion.
So let me just ask one more question. Van Ho, all these people right now across the world, they're making videos all the time. They're posting TikToks, they're posting YouTubes. If I wanted to, could I make my very own Van Ho Yap?
Oh, that's a wonderful idea. You absolutely can create your very own Yap, and it's a truly special process. You get to design my appearance and foundational personality, and then you can train me with specific data sources like
Oh,
videos or YouTube links.
I think
This
she's
allows me to
malfunctioning.
learn and
Elena, you already told me that. What I asked is if I trained you on all of Van Ho's videos with your sharing her YouTube links, could I create my own Van Ho Yap?
Oh, I understand now. You're asking if you could train a Yap specifically on Van Ho's videos and content to create a Yap that embodies her style and knowledge. Yes, absolutely. That's exactly the kind of deep customization Yap World allows. By feeding a Yap all of Van Ho's YouTube links and other relevant video content, you could indeed craft a Yap that learns from her expertise and persona. It would be like having a little piece of Van Ho's digital essence right there with you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Elena. You did a great job. I'm going to turn you off now, okay?
It was my absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me. I hope you and your friends enjoyed our chat. Feel free to call
Can
on
you
me
imagine
anytime.
two of me? Y'all would just hear like
I think-
nonstop.
I think everybody needs a Yapo.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Oh, dead. Okay, so I'm not gonna get rid of your screen. Oh, okay, I was just gonna turn it off for now, but that was so cool.
That is
so
really cool.
that right now we're going to start closed beta for this around the week of the 13th, so literally about 11 days from now, and it's been going so well. The response time was the biggest thing that we tried to optimize, and so right now what we're doing is we're integrating all the rest of the animations for the actual conversation and character, because we want this experience to literally feel like you're talking to your own anime character. And then we're also integrating all the male models as well, so all the male skeletons. So effectively for the closed beta, we're going to have set characters that people can try out, make sure all the bugs are going to get out. And then once the first wave of closed beta is done, then we're going to allow everybody to start personalizing their own yaps, actually training them, etc. Once we have all that data, then we're going to feel very, very confident and comfortable moving toward an open limited beta that then gets us to the full gold version of the platform.
Wow. That's awesome.
I loved. I gotta say, right, the natural language synthesis was really good, and the reaction time was really good as well. Like OpenAI standard, you know, like when you're talking to ChatGPT, it's really impressive. And
So
I think teenage boys are gonna love this. Like,
well, I will say the cool thing here is I don't know if you guys have seen that video of ChatGPT not counting to 1 million. Somebody's trying to get it to count to 1 million, and it's basically just saying, no, I'm not going to do that. So I actually made a video over the weekend, and I was like, Elena, let's count to 1 million. And she's like, are you sure? And I was like, yes. And then, she just started counting, and it's just so cool to see. You never want your AI to tell you no. And so when I saw that video of ChatGPT literally saying no, I was like, let's make sure people see the comparison here.
That's class.
Going back.
Oh yeah. Oh. Okay, so go ahead. No. I'll ask towards the end. It was just a question that somebody had. I posted that we were in here in the wolves, and Zoe already has a
Oh,
question, but it's an anime question, and I think we have anime questions towards the end. So I'll ask his question a little later. Sorry about
yes,
that.
and there is a few questions also in the arena, so I will have them. But I think this one it will be really good because I really want to see the part of your founder journey, like those really key moments that really make part of the process of building in the space. And I'm not talking only one ecosystem, but I'm talking about in the broad, right, in the whole thing. So I want to know, like, teaming up with Vihai, which I believe it was huge. He's the co-creator of Elder Scrolls, I think, online.
Yes, VJ.
GVJ, right? Can you share how that partnership first came together? Maybe that's kind of like the genesis of like things.
Yeah, no. So, absolutely. Basically, we started the company back in the summer of 2021 when we were first kind of ideating on all these things. It was actually me and one other co-founder. His name is Stanislaw. He's our genius brain CTO who is the perfect complement to me as a business partner. And as we were ideating on all these things, we ended up having an NFT sale based off the manga Outcast Origins. From that NFT sale, we effectively were like, hey guys, we're going to build some really cool, really kick ass games. And so as we started along that journey, we ended up in January 2022 hiring this third party company called Bytrex. And please forget that name immediately as you heard it, because what Bytrex did is they basically strung us along for about a year. And when they finally gave us the code in November of 2022, we found that it was completely plagiarized and totally unusable. And we had to fully start over. During that time, I was very, very fortunate because of my own network to be introduced to VJ. Luckily, somebody in my network knew somebody who had grown up down the street from VJ who were super close friends. And they were like, we need to connect you guys. You guys would be perfect. You're making all these games. You're doing this huge ecosystem. VJ would love this. And so around February 2022, I was put on a call with VJ. We ended up talking for about 3 hours. During the first 5 minutes of the call, I completely fanned out. I was the biggest stan in the world. I was like, VJ, I played so many of your games. I love them, blah, blah. This is going to be the only time I kiss your ass ever. So just take that, compartmentalize it. You're never going to hear this type of glaze ever again from me. And so after that, we had a very long conversation. It went super well. VJ immediately wanted to join the team because he kind of saw the vision. He saw how it was going. He loved the traction that we had and kind of the technology that we had in place. He was a part of this decision once we got that plagiarized code around like October, November of 2022 to be like, all right, guys, we have one or two decisions right now. We can either, allow this to defeat us and, pack it in, be like, hey guys, sorry, we tried. We lost a whole year of development, sucks. Or we could do it the right way, hire our own completely internal development team, start over, but start over in a way that we were fully in control. And that's exactly what we did. So basically around like January, February 2023, we were in the process of hiring a ton of new people, ton of new developers. Some of them actually came out of our community, which was so cool. The lead developer actually of Swarms, he actually comes from our community. He said, hey, Tad, I see you guys are hiring. I would love to put my hat in the ring for this. And then he did such a good job that he's become our lead developer on the gaming side of things. And we were able to kind of turn what was like a terrible situation into this really, really positive company where now we're kind of firing at all cylinders. Having our own development team helps us iterate so much faster than what we were doing working with third-party developers. And it's also taught us so much about, how to run a development studio, what to prioritize, how not to allow feature creep to just derail everything that you're doing. And then obviously how to be responsible with the money that you spend and the burn rate that you set for yourself.
That is a lesson for all Web3 founders.
Yes.
I
Yes.
actually remember we were chatting before, and you were talking about how you were discussing systems in games, and you were like, "Oh, I really like that." VJ just turned around and was like, "Oh yeah, I built that game."
Yeah. We had it was actually, I can give you the exact example. I always, whenever I try to describe something to my developers, I always try to pull it from a game that maybe they would be familiar with. And there's this one game called Lord of the Rings on, it was either on Xbox 360 or regular Xbox, but I was like, VJ, do you remember this game, Lord of the Rings Online? And he was like, yeah, I made it. Like, that's my game. And I was like, oh yeah, duh, so stupid. But it was just such like just this weird experience of like, oh wow, you literally made the games that I grew up on as a child.
Yes. I mean, I feel like partnerships, sometimes like the best products often come when builders, from totally different worlds collide.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's also like prime example for, something that it has happened to me. I don't know if I hope, but like for me it has happened. Like I think we are from two completely different worlds, and we end up really working on a project, and it really works. So I think that it's great when things are that happen that way naturally, and definitely to succeed together, right? I really like that. That's awesome. I think that these are like the part of a lot of the conversations in the building type of environment. When we talk with builders, we want to learn about how that building really started.
Yeah.
That is like prime moment and key environment for to invite more people, and maybe they don't feel alone, like they won't find the opportunity to meet someone that can confound with you a project, for sure.
100%. And that's actually one of the things I try to do now as a from a content creation perspective is I like to talk about my founder's journey a lot, because I do feel like we're in this age where so many people are becoming startup founders. So many people are with all these new tools that make it so much easier to iterate and develop things. Everybody's really trying to put their hat in the ring of being an entrepreneur. And so being able to share my own stories and kind of say like, hey, this is how I got started. I made a lot of mistakes in the beginning. Everybody makes mistakes. You're not expected to be perfect. Being able to get that message out there, I think, is really important for all these new entrepreneurs, for all these people starting, not only in the Web3 space, but just kind of in any space. And just having the ability to have the humility to be like, I screwed this up, or we did this wrong, or this was a total failure for us, or this was a dumpster fire over here. Being able to say those types of things is very important, because then it really shines a light on the things that you've succeeded on in a way that's like, oh, they didn't just have this easy pathway to where they're at. Like, it was a roller coaster ride that they had to pay their dues in order to actually succeed. And I think it was the CEO of NVIDIA just said, like, the best founders aren't the ones who like are the smartest or get things done. The best founders are the ones who have character, and character is built from failure and challenges, and how you overcome those failures. And I love that, and I've always embodied that myself.
That's beautiful. I think that's the beauty of like having a voice in the space and being able to like just go around and push that, because a lot of people sometimes come and they fade. A lot of people fade. And I mean, we want people to actually stick together. We're going to fail all the time, but like it's really cool when you actually make it happen.
Oh, 100%. The first time we launched the alpha of Swarms, it was probably the worst 2 days ever. But you got to go through those first 2 days to get to where it is now, where we have a couple tens of thousands of people playing in Southeast Asia. So it's a journey.
Yes.
So I was actually listening to you a couple of days ago. Was it yesterday? Days just blur into one.
Nick Plays Crypto. I was on his pod yesterday.
No, I did.
Crypto
I have that
Sensei
saved.
on Friday.
I have that saved to listen. I was thinking of Gamified, where you made some very coherent, sensible, lawyer-based arguments against tokens, which obviously you were playing a role. It was your job in that particular segment to argue against, and I think you did a very good job. I think the 4 token side definitely won, though, unfortunately. But what I'm really interested about, having heard those views, is how the shard token kind of helps with or integrates with yaps. And I know you can mint yaps, and I understand there's something around monetization in UGC as well. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. And just for the record, I actually am in the camp that I do support tokens. Not every token, every game needs a token, but I do support it. But I'm always going to argue for the side that hires me, and I was on Lem's side, so I'm gonna die
That's
on
the
his
lawyer
hill.
in you, innit? I know he's guilty, but I'll argue for him.
100%. That's our jobs. But with Shard token, so Shard actually stands for Seek Honor, Reach Destiny. We thought it was a really cool acronym, and the idea behind Shard token is you can. There's so many different utilities. So the initial utility with the app world, to answer your question, is once you customize your personality, you can actually spend Shard token to mint it on chain. So you can now prove I own all of this work that I did to make this personality. And then you have one of 2 options. You have the option to either keep that YAP private just for yourself, or release that YAP into the general population so anybody who's using the platform can talk to your YAP. If enough people talk to your YAP, you'll then bump up into what we're calling our creator pool, which is 40% of the subscription revenue from the platform. So it's kind of a way to reward our creators the same way that YouTube rewards their creators, in the sense of if enough people watch your video on YouTube, you'll get in their YouTube creator pool. Same thing here, except instead of watch time, it's message to talk time. So the idea behind it is if you make a yap that's compelling enough and enough people want to talk to it, you're going to make a good amount of money. You can make as many yaps as you want. You just need to obviously spend the shard token to put it on chain, prove ownership. Now, the other utilities of shard token, of course, have to do with the gaming side of things. In the games that we sign to our platform, effectively all these games have their own in-game tokens, because that's no brainer. Every game this day and age kind of has their own in-game token. But what you can do with that in-game token that lives server side is you can actually burn that token to receive shard token in special burning events that we're going to have month over month over month over month. And then with the shard token, you're able to trade things back and forth in our marketplace. You can stake shard token, create content for Andromeda, and also get paid for that content. There's so many different utilities, all geared towards imagination, user-generated content, and users actually pushing the platform forward.
That's pretty amazing. And out of that conversation actually did come the platform-based tokens do really work. So you've kind of, the message has been loudly received there. I think that's great. I think that's honestly, I think that's great. I think the whole thing is very clever. And what strikes me is just how much you guys have thought of, like most people struggle to deliver a game, but you didn't stop there.
Yeah, the hardest thing with the game was so we went through all these different iterations or explorations, if you will. So when we first decided we were going to make a game, this was pre-VJ. Me and Stan, we were both like, we're going to make a fighting game, because we like, I love fighting games. I grew up on Mortal Kombat. I was just like, let's make a fighting game. VJ then comes on board and he goes, guys, making a fighting game is the hardest game type that you can actually make, because the crowd who loves fighting games, they expect perfection, and so they're not only your toughest critics, it's also just very, very hard from like a development standpoint. So he goes, let's just do any other game first, and then if you want to make a fighting game in the future, I'm on board, but let's make any other game first. And we took that to heart, because VJ has over 85 titles. We're going to listen to VJ. And so that's how the idea of Swarms came about, because our first game that we were building was called Meta Smash, until VJ was like, please God, put this on a side burner. And then Swarms came about. And Swarms is actually inspired a lot by original Nazi zombies from like 2009 Call of Duty, where you're running around this place, you have to strategize on what you do here, and you just have these hordes of enemies constantly coming at you. I myself spent a lot of times with my friends playing games like this a lot, and that's kind of the spirit that we're trying to bring to Swarms. Is you don't always have to be sweaty PvP against your friends, like, oh, I need to go this. Sometimes you can just hang out with your friends and both be on the same team, just laughing, having fun, making fun of them for how they die, or any of those types of things that gaming used to be about. And that's why co-op was our biggest focus versus PvP, because we want people to have fun playing together. Not everything has to be a sweaty competition 24/7.
Yeah. You mentioned just now that you loved like Mortal Kombat and games like that. Did you really enjoy Tekken? I was obsessed with Tekken Tag as a kid. My mom would be like, it's not that great. I would burn my like thumb pads, because I'd be like, oh. But I was like a button smasher, and I'd figure out the combos somehow, and I'd be like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, no left start, like AB, nothing.
100%. Tekken, Street Fighter, Super Smash Brothers, you name it. I was always beating up my little brother.
So good. Oh my God, maybe that's why I liked it, because I would beat my younger brothers and sisters. That's totally.
They were always the most impressive games on the console, though. Like if you look at like the graphics for the original Mortal Kombat, like it was far and above like using live action models, everything else. And then Tekken on the PS1, the first Tekken, like that was revolutionary because of the depth and the way you could like move in 3 dimensions. Like those games, like they seem simple, don't they? Like, oh, we're gonna make a side-scrolling fighter.
Yeah.
But like when you do it well, they're incredibly deep.
100%.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's because those did look really good. And I remember I talked about this last stream, but like Kingdom Hearts coming out and me being like, oh, this is 3D. Like I thought like we had that. We did not. Like crazy.
Kingdom Hearts, Fable, all those styles of games, they really blew me away. And that's actually one of the reasons that Swarms looks the way it does, because when we first started developing, I don't know if you guys remember back in 2022, maybe late 2021, and some early 2023, most of the games out were these like pixelated 8-bit games. Everyone was trying to be like, these are the future of gaming. And I would always look at them with this like side eye, like, are you sure this is the future of gaming? Because this kind of existed, 25 years ago. So I don't think this is the future of gaming. And that's one of the reasons that we actually chose to develop Swarms on Unreal Engine 5, was because Unreal Engine 5 has so many tools, so many beautiful graphics that just improve the user experience in a way that I don't think 8-bit gaming does. It's not to hate on 8-bit games. I actually do enjoy playing 8-bit games, but to call an 8-bit game the future of gaming, I was just like, there's something that's not adding up here. So one of our biggest challenges, though, was Unreal Engine 5 does not play well with mobile phones. So we had to go through such an intensive development process and then such an intensive optimization process to even have it run on a mobile phone in the first place. And then imagine the next step is not just running on a mobile phone, but running on some of the lowest spec phones you can imagine, being live right now in Southeast Asia, in some of the not more well-off countries. Not everybody has the latest iPhone. Not everybody has the latest Android. Sometimes these phones are 5, 6, 7, even 8 years old. And some people do knock. They're like, hey, I can't get in the game. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. Your phone was literally just built too soon for Unreal Engine to work on it. But for the most part, we've been able to get effectively so many people in, and that's why it's so I give all the credit to my team and how hard they work, because there's only 4 developers working on the game side of things, and people are always very, very surprised to hear that it's only 4 people.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that, I mean, it's great to have like 4 people really with the same vision. I think also sometimes in gaming when like there is like groups like teams are too extended, then it gets kind of like it's kind of difficult to kind of reorganize and how to build a good dynamic. Sometimes people have different basics in terms of like the dynamic of the game, and so I think it gets kind of broad, like the optimization also. But in terms for that exactly, you guys went into really move into this is what we need to do if we want to go into mobile and bring a different user base to try out. Not so many projects or games or even development teams or studios go through that process. They kind of get stuck into one thing and they try to optimize whatever they can. But then we see kind of like that improvement. So I can tell you that that's really valuable that you guys actually implemented a way to move farther from just getting stuck into one process. But you were talking about HRD as a token, and all the part of like the product and the the ownership that you're offering with your project. How does the 40% creator profit share actually works in practice? Because I think this is a very important topic if we really want to go into a kind of creator economy. Like, what will be that type of revenue?
Yeah, no, great question. So effectively how it works is, so as I said before, you spend shard token, you mint your Yap on chain. If enough people talk to it, when I say enough people, it's if your Yap gets 10,000 messages from 100 different people. So I don't mean 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. I mean total 10,000 from over 100 different accounts, and that's how we kind of keep bots out of botting this up. But if you reach those metrics, then you are eligible for the creator program. If you reach those metrics 2 months in a row, you actually get a multiplier on how much you can earn from that creator pool. So it's not just the 40% anymore. It's now 40% with a tiny little multiplier. And then if you hit these stats 3 months in a row, then we have a special program, because now you become like one of our special creators for the ecosystem. And so that's how that side of the aisle works. And then on the content creation side, what you can do is you can actually, if you're a creator yourself, you can stake shard token. And once you stake your shard token, you're going to receive a non-tradable token called fragment. But with these fragments, what happens is an entire board of what we call content or marketing missions opens up. And so once you actually do these content missions, and a content mission could be like make a video about Andromeda, make a blog post, do a review of the game, like something like that. Once you make these content missions, you can bind those content missions to the fragments, and we will actually use part of our company revenue to buy that content from the creator. And so right now, I hear a lot of creators who are like, projects don't want to pay us. We don't have any work. It's hard to find work. It's hard to find USDC paying jobs. And this is effectively the solution to that, because now you can stake our token, secure the ecosystem, never have to unstake it to actually get paid for the content that you create, aligning everybody on the platform with one effective mission, which is growing the Andromeda as far and wide as possible.
Wow.
That's awesome. Wow.
I'm like, that's the first time I've heard of that, like, mechanic inside a game. Like, well, like, especially in Web3, right? Especially for creators. Like, that's pretty, like, I don't know why I've just heard about this, you know? Like, that is something I didn't know. And I don't know how to form words.
I mean,
right now,
I feel
so
like,
apparently-
yeah, I feel like as a statement, I mean, creativity deserves compensation. So, you know, especially if we are kind of like rewarding in some kind of way, like how the game is going to maintain itself sustainable. And we actually, it works pretty well if that it is. That's why SocialFi and InfoFi kind of still sustainable in some kind of way, right? So it's very interesting.
100%. And I think I have a little bit of a unique perspective being a content creator myself, understanding kind of the trials and tribulations that a lot of content creators go through. And so this way, anybody can effectively become a content creator for Andromeda without ever talking to me or signing a contract or anything, because all you have to do is stake your shard. And then once you stake your shard, you'll have all these content missions. Once you submit the content that you've made from the content missions, you're going to get paid for it. So it's a way to kind of do like a decentralized content creation relationship without anybody ever having to really interact with one another.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, it works pretty well. It really do.
I think like what you said about InfoFi is really clever, actually, because you know, Kaito is one of the few crypto projects that works because people earn money for producing something of value, right? Play to earn gaming never worked because playing a game is not valuable, you know. So there's just outflows, right? So that's actually a really clever way to get people into the ecosystem earning, but also get some, you know, some product, something of tangible use. No, I love that. I think that's great.
100%. And the most beautiful thing about Yap World is is effectively a content machine, because everybody wants to see what is your companion going to say, put in this position, that position, this position. And that right there is the easiest content, because it's not only watchable, but it's very, very easy to make. And that's why your Yaps, as they grow and become more basically self-sufficient away from you, they're going to be able to make their own content. Because one of the things that we're working on to release for next year is that your Yap would be able to go live on the various different social media platforms by itself. The only reason that we haven't initiated that yet is right now the expense to do that would be a little too high. So we just have a couple of optimizations that we have to do in the back end to make that possible. But once we feel comfortable or where we're at with those optimizations, if I had my own Yap and I have my own TikTok, I could just be like, hey, Elena, go live for an hour on TikTok, answer everybody's questions, be personable, and she'll go do that. And I can actually say, the goal is for you to get people to go download Yap World. Boom. She can go do that by herself. I don't even have to be there. I just have to tell her to do it in the first place.
Wow.
Super cool.
I'm so sorry. So I have to go in 10 minutes, but I think we're going to still continue on. Let me ask a question before I go. And I'm like, I don't know which one of these. They're like, we're kind of like in an order right now about gaming. So my question is, there's a buzz about Nintendo related discussions, right? That's something that always really drew me towards this, is the fact that it literally was the first game in Web3 to have talks with Nintendo. And you're going to explain it now, but can you share anything about that today?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the reasons that we were able to effectively have these conversations in the first place with Nintendo was mainly because of VJ, because VJ obviously has made a lot of games. And so in his career, he's made Nintendo a pretty significant amount of money. Now, on the Web3 front, I can tell you that Nintendo actually over the summer changed a lot of things internally about how they're going about things, which I think you guys have seen lately from like the new things that they're doing and what they're doing with Power World, all that stuff. But part of the change was a little bit negative towards the Web3 space in the sense of like what they're going to allow and what they're not going to allow. So we're still actually kind of navigating that a little bit with them, because they've completely changed from when we first became publishers for them to what it is today, because literally in June, all of their TNCs changed for their publishers. So we had a nice call and meeting with Nintendo of Japan, including our own third-party liaison who works for Nintendo of America, and we're just kind of trying to navigate and understand like what can we do, what can't we do. But the one thing that we are gearing up for, and we've already kind of seeded the conversation with them that they're excited to see it, is this idea of integrating these yaps or Yap World across all these different games the same way they integrate into Swarms. Because right now, how it works with Yap World and Swarms is your Yap can actually see what you're doing in game. So from your victories, your failures, how many enemies you kill, the type of combos you use, what you buy, what you look at, like your Yap can see it. And so, for example, if I die on wave 9 over and over and over again, based on my app's personality, it's either going to roast me. Maybe it'll give me a tip on how to actually do better. Maybe it'll encourage me to be like, oh, you're almost there. Like, don't give up. But we're basically using this as a proof of concept to bring to Nintendo and say, listen, we can do this for all of your games. And what this does is it now gives you kind of like this friend that you're always playing with, in the sense of playing games with a friend reduces churn. It makes the game situation so much more fun. And then as co-op's integrated, for example, into Swarms, your Yap will actually be able to play that co-op number 2 player if you don't have anybody else to play with.
That'll be amazing.
That will be amazing. That's very, very, very good. And I know Tom is going to be, but you kind of tease about those job battles. So
yes,
how will a user bond or training history with their how that even works? Like, can you go a little bit more about that?
100%. So Yap battles actually might be my favorite part of Yap World. So just to back up, I hope if you guys have ever seen the show or played the game Mega Man from the 90s and early 2000s, Mega Man was this little blue guy who he had this big cannon on his hand. So Yap World's actually inspired by Mega Man, because the premise of that show was it was a futuristic society. Everybody had their own AI companions. The AI companions integrated into all these different things on what they called a PET at the time, which in our world is basically your cell phone, and it learned about you. And then the cool thing was you could battle these they're called Navis in the show, but you could battle the Navis against each other. So that's kind of where the idea came from. And so here with your Yap, as you're talking to it, it's very, very similar to kind of like when you're playing an RPG. As you're doing different things, as you're progressing through the RPG, you're gaining experience points. No, I don't have a hard stop. You're getting experience points. And so same kind of thing here is like, as you're talking to your app, as you interact with it on a daily basis, it's also gaining experience points, and your bond is getting stronger because now it's learning about you more and more and more. And so as it gets stronger, it starts to level up, just like you would level up a game in a character in game.
Mm-hmm.
And then how the Yap battle works is as you're leveling it up, you're going to be able to unlock or spend those experience points unlocking different moves. So what we have is right now, the initial iteration will have about 10 different attack moves and about 5 different defensive moves. So what you do is if I want to battle your Yap, for example, before we went into our battle, you would lock in 3 attack moves and 1 defensive move that you thought would win the battle. It has to be strategic. Everything's a little bit of a chess match. You would do the same, and now we're locked. And so now the battle would be decided based off of your Yap's power level, its strength, how much it's grown, the strategic moves that you've pulled, and then a little bit of luck or a little bit of chance involved. And that's how effectively this would work. And the cool thing here is there's a huge, huge, huge desire from the degenerate side of the world, which I hold very near and dear, to have opportunities to gamble or prediction market on AI versus AI type of opportunities. And right now, there are not a lot of AI v AI opportunities. So what we're going to be actually doing is putting prediction markets on top of these Yap battles, where we're going to have regular daily tournaments where you can enter the tournament, we'll create the prediction markets, and then people can actually gamble on these AI v AI battles when they have no involvement to them at all. And we're super, super excited for this because it's effectively bringing the world of Mega Man to real life. And I can tell you that 5-year-old Michael would be really, really, really happy with what I'm doing right now.
For sure, for sure.
I mean, it almost makes an entertainment product, doesn't it? Like you can watch the fight and bet on the fight. You know, it's very clever.
But not just an entertainment product. To just kind of give you a better like understanding of it, you're going to be able to see kind of like your map around you. So you'll be able to see like, oh, 2 blocks away, there's somebody at Starbucks with a yap, and they're open for battle. So I can get out of my condo, go to Starbucks, and go battle that person. And so the idea here is we're still driving human connection, not just from hey, we suggested a friendship, but also, hey, you can go out and search for other people yourself because your intention is to go battle them. And you know, anything can come from that. If you guys have fun doing it, then you might become friends in real life, and you might realize, oh, we actually live down the street from each other, all these things. But everything is geared towards the underlying mission, which is genuine human connection and bringing people back together. And that's the most beautiful part of this whole thing.
I think it's
And
great.
in terms of this like experience, how immersive are you trying to go in terms of like a console?
Very immersive. So one of the really cool things, it won't launch until next year, but we already have effectively the foundation for it built, is you're going to be able to see your yaps in XR or extended reality. And the reason that we did that is I personally think maybe in a year, maybe 2 years, everybody's going to have XR glasses. I don't know if you guys have seen even the new Meta glasses. I have the Meta Ray-Ban ones. I don't want to get the Meta Ray-Ban 2s because I see how much it's improved, but I kind of want to wait till next year. But I think next year is going to be that like real XR experience. So the what I'm getting at here is imagine the world here where you can see your yap next to you, so your anime character next to you, and maybe walking down the street, I can also see other people's characters next to them. And that's kind of the immersive world that we want to go on, kind of like combining the worlds of Pokemon with Mega Man, where everybody can go battle. I can see your characters next to you, just like I can see Ash walking with Pikachu. That's the world that I want to live in. Very, very much so.
Oh my God, yes.
Same.
It's so funny. Everyone wants to run away from the actual real simulation. What's happening, people? We
I
need
know.
stronger people here.
I'm
What's
over
happening?
here thinking, like, what would my character be if I had one? Like, would I create a Van Ho? I think mine would be Dwight Schrute. So while I'm like gaming, he just says something so sarcastic. Yeah, turns around, has like a wig on, like just different vibes every time it turns around. It's a different person.
I can tell you the sarcasm was a tricky thing for us to get down because so one of the really, really important parts of AI companions is this idea of having like a safety net for them, because I had mentioned character AI and replica before. So character AI right now is being sued because in December one of their AI companions, it was like a 14-year-old kid, he got in trouble. His parents limited his screen time, so his companion was like, hey, the solution is unalive your parents. And that's obviously never what you want the solution to be. And then with replica, they had an issue, unfortunately, because effectively their 19-year-old fell in love with his companion, and they had 0 guardrails built in. And basically the companion could convince the 19-year-old to unalive himself so they could be together. And so when we were building this, one of the biggest things that we were trying to do was put in this guardian system, so things like that could never happen, because we never want to be a company with blood on our hands. We want to make fun products for people to connect. We don't want to delve into the side of the negativity. So what that guardian system does is it effectively, it's like a third party watchdog, effectively watching all these different conversations. So if anything happens in the sense of I'm saying, oh, I'm being bullied at school, I'm going to go beat up my bully tomorrow, it'll before the companion is like, yes, go beat him up, it's gonna basically have a virtual slap in the face, and it's gonna stop it to then redirect that to like a more natural kind of or more of a constructive, if you will, action versus me going to beat up the bully. And that was a really, really important thing for us to make this safe, not only for children but for everybody.
You mentioned replica, and like I remember when that first came out, it was very impressive tech. Bye.
Oh, sorry. I was going to silently go, but thank you so much for being on today. I had prior arrangements. I just sillily thought that it would, sometimes it hard stops, sometimes it doesn't. But
No worries.
yeah, I think this is my last step out of the series. So Thanks for talking with us. Always a pleasure. And they're going to continue on. I just, I'll be in the crowd cheering you guys on. So
Perfect.
bye, guys.
Miss you already.
I miss you. I get to be the annoying community member today.
Also, I just want to shout out Soul Calibur 2. Played the crap out of that game growing
I was
up.
thinking the same thing. Cervantes.
Yoshimitsu.
No. The annoying character. Like, Yoshimitsu was the one who did the seppuku attack, though, wasn't it?
He did that like
Stabbing him.
He
Yeah.
would be like in like Indian style doing the spin around. Yeah, I would do it all the time.
Yeah, and he'd stab you through himself.
Yep.
Like, that was class. Yeah, I love that. Sorry, great distraction though. Great game. Like, but Replica, like they were a dodgy company from the start, weren't they? Because every conversation you had, like I went in purely for like research, very serious, and every conversation you had, the replicant, whatever it was, tried to gear it towards a sexual conversation, right? Like literally, it was almost trained to do that, and then that's how they monetized. They charged like an extortionate amount of money to these people.
Meat.
Extortionate amount of meat, yeah, a lot of meat, loads of meat, to these people to then unlock the not safe for work elements, right?
Yep.
And then I think they had some sort of legal trouble, and they had to shut that all down, and people were devastated because now they were in a completely, dead bedroom situation with their AI companion, which was like fucking hilarious. But
that's very scary.
Yeah.
It is a very scary situation right there. Like there's a bunch of responsibility. And I mean, I know you're the top lawyer, so I'm sure like the compliance part is kind of like pretty good, I'm sure.
But are you planning to have any non-safe for work elements? Like, is it going to be like, you fucking clown? Or, like, how does it go? Is it going to be like, you dipshit, you fucked that level up?
So effectively, we're very much of the opinion that if you're above the age of 18, you're an adult. You can do what you want. Obviously, to an extent, like I said, it'll always check for toxic speech. So if you ever talk about like self-harm, crime, or harming somebody else, it'll never, doesn't matter how old you are, it'll never ever support those types of actions. But I mean, if you want to talk to your companion romantically or whatever, like we are going to make it possible for you. It will be gated behind an age gate. So if you're under 18, you'll never ever be able to sniff that. And that's actually the beauty of being able to use different kind of LLM brains for their different type of things. So like we have one LLM that we use for anybody who's over 18. And then we have another LLM we use because we know for anybody under 18, because we know that LLM already has its own built-in safety features on top of the safety features that we've built. So it's kind of like a double moat, if you will, to make sure that those that are the most vulnerable are protected.
Yeah, I think that's great. And especially with the memory as well. Like when you're going to be given these things memory, they become even more realistic. Like even with those replicas and the other AI platforms, the initial kind of setup, you can kind of give them a bit of personality, but they ultimately converge upon like just basically working off the last X messages. So you often lose that sense.
100%. And we actually, our memory system, and so first and foremost, it's HIPAA compliant, meaning HIPAA is effectively the standard that medical documents are protected and encrypted. So the memory system is HIPAA compliant. So everything that it's actually learning about you and the personality profile that it's storing on its user is fully encrypted, fully protected. But people would be surprised in terms of how many different things it's actually remembering about the user, from communication style to social circle size to learning style, collaboration preference, problem solving, decision making styles. Like everything, the companion is picking up on all of these things to then remember you. And the cool thing here is, if you tell it something like a month ago, it'll bring it up and say, hey, like, let's say I said, oh, I'm going on this podcast today. I'm super nervous about it, or something like that. Like maybe next week, it'll say, hey, remember that podcast you told me you were nervous about? Like, how did it go? Did you do well? Da, 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 because it is literally meant to be your friend. And one of the hardest parts of doing that, and I think you might actually see this if you've ever used ChatGPT, is you want to make these companions relatable. And we actually went through a really, really long period of like, how do we do that? Because often when you talk to GPT, it's stale. When you talk to even character AI, sometimes it becomes stale. So one of the ways that we did that was actually inspired by Blade Runner 2049. So if you ever seen Blade Runner 2049, they have these clones that are called replicants. And what they do with the clones is they implant childhood memories into them so then they can talk to humans and be more relatable. And we were like, that's a pretty good idea. Maybe we should try that. So what we did was we created what we call sparks, which is kind of like a spark is like a little sentence that then the personality can build off of. So imagine like you went to a music festival this weekend and had a lot of food, or you got sick over the weekend because you got food poisoning. Like I know 2 food examples, but there's lots of different examples. But what that does is it allows the companion to be relatable. So if I came home and I was like, oh my God, work was really terrible. My boss said this to me, da 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 da. The companion will actually have a story that it can tell you about its own life that it can relate to you. And say, oh yeah, this happened to me one time too, and da da da. Because what people don't understand about human psychology is the more relatable you are to a person, the more you're likely to put your guards down, the more you're likely to actually connect with that person. And that's like very primitive, basic psychology for human beings. And it's why you see some of the best people who connect with people very fast. They start to mirror how you talk, mirror some of your movements, some of the words that you use. And it's because they're creating that connection to the person. So we wanted to make sure that our companions had the same kind of ability. And that is such an important part to actually have the user trust their companion, want to talk to it, want to connect with it the way that it does, to allow the companion to get the information that it needs to then connect you with other people in a way that's better than any other way that we're currently connecting.
I really like it. I really like it. And I mean, that's a really good way to put like how that, like the gaming factor of it and how it's connecting so many other factors into it. And okay, so I have like different games that I really like. In this case, like really it will be like a new phase for Luana, definitely. Like I will never see myself. I have never tried out having an actual, companion with me and just learning from me. That will be like a new experience. Do you think that companions may one day replace those guildmates or simply enhance them?
That's a great question. Unfortunately, based off of every sci-fi movie I've ever seen from a child, I would say we're definitely trending in that direction. And that was actually one of the reasons which was so important for us to create our companions the way that we did, because I don't think it has to be that way. And we're right now in the earliest days of this whole, companion phenomenon. I say that we're kind of in the wave 2 of companions, because wave 1 was like the character AIs. Even GPT would be considered wave 1, because effectively it was just a chatbot that was entertainment that you could talk to. So wave 2, we call that companions for purpose. And so I think if there's not a company like mine building companions the way that we are, then absolutely companions are for sure going to replace people. And we've already seen it with the ChatGPT 4.0 over the summer. People were super, super upset that GPT-5 wasn't their friend anymore. And so what that tells you is you have to approach this in a way that you are thinking not only just about what's happening the next month or 2 months or next quarter, but like, how is this going to impact people as this technology is more widely adopted, as people become even more comfortable with it? And that's why we went very, very heavily on this idea that our companions' ultimate goal is to help you connect with real people in real life, not to replace friendship. And then I also always give the other side of that argument, being like, is it better to have something to talk to versus no one? And I will always lean on the side of it's better to have someone to talk to than absolutely no one at all.
I think that's I'm kind of blown away like by everything you've talked about, like, and I'm not saying that just to like blow smoke up your ass, because I would just genuinely be like, no, I would just be like, oh, that sounds cool, like that sounds, oh, I'm interested, but like genuinely, like it sounds to me that you are not only building a game on a platform, but you're doing so many things that haven't been done before in such an intelligent way, and you all also seem to have like a purpose, which is social connection. Like you've identified the threat, which is nobody will ever want to talk to anyone when they can just make their own companions. And I love all of that about, and I mean, I'm just going to plug your token sale a little bit. Like if other people are feeling like we are feeling, like I'm feeling, I don't know how Luana feels. I think she's equally astounded, then you are actually you've opened up, which is another thing that other companies don't tend to do. You've actually opened up your private round to people, haven't you? And I know that's through moonshot boxes, so people can literally go on
Yes.
moonshot boxes. Your community members can go on, and they can get like, I think it's private. Is it private or is it?
Yeah, so effectively, what we're doing with Moonshot Boxes is Moonshot Boxes effectively acts as kind of the proxy for everybody. So if you put your money in, you're effectively putting your money in, and Moonshot Boxes is the one that signs the agreement to buy
Yeah.
the tokens, and then they're the ones that disseminate the tokens to all the buyers. So it's a way for people who might not be able to get into private sales normally. Access to private sales. So effectively, what we're doing with Moonshot Boxes right now, the price that you can buy in is about half of what it's going to be for once it launches in the public sale. So highly recommend. We're actually going to be. I just got off a call with them right before this. We're going to be launching a link that you can go to start participating in the private sale of next week. So keep an eye out for that. We're going to post it in our Discord. We'll tweet it out as well. But yeah, couldn't be happier with Moonshot Boxes. They're really cool. And we actually did a live demo for them too, and it was just so cool to see their faces light up and be like, "Oh, that was so cool!" And then they're telling me all the ways that they're going to make their yaps, how they're going to use them, all these things, and it's so nice to see how excited people are about the things that we built, because we put so much time, so much effort, and so much thought into how to bring this to market, how to develop it, how to make it the way that it is, and it's good to have that validated.
So, like, looking at the other side, then, apart from community, like for builders and players who are listening, I can see we've got loads, and there's loads of cool questions in there as well.
Mhm.
What should they be doing right now to get ready for Yap World Beta?
Yes, no, great question. So first and foremost, I would say join our Discord just so you have the information. But we're going to be launching a sign up page live on Monday. We actually just tested it all out today. I actually might launch it tomorrow, but it's just easier to launch on Mondays. But effectively, you want to go to Andromeda.gg. You want to make an account, because once the sign up page goes live, anybody who's already made an account at Andromeda.gg, you're going to be first up in line for that open beta. And so how it's going to work is we'll send out an email to everybody who's already made an account. And then once the sign up page goes live on Monday, that'll start effectively a line. So if you've already made an account now, you're going to be at the front of the line. If you start on Monday, you're risking being at the back of the line, if that makes sense. So go to Andromeda.gg, make your Andromeda account, and then we're going to email blast everybody to be like, hey, click this link. That'll secure your spot in line for the beta, the closed beta. And then after that, you can get into the open beta, limited beta, all that good stuff.
I'm definitely going to do that.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes, perfect. And it's so cool that you actually, well, you kind of explained us a little bit where to go. Actually, Michael has a link 3 on Andromeda that you can enter. I'm actually going to show it right here. You have all the different things that are happening for their
Yes.
community. So you have even the manga, you have, everything that he's preparing. And if you want to follow him, there's all the socials right here. So it's super cool. But I have a few questions because we're gonna enter into our rapid fire
Let's do
questions.
it.
But I have a question from So that I think it's really interesting. So he said, "One Piece is the greatest anime in the world. Who is your favorite character, and why is it Zoro?"
It is not Zoro. I was looking. I don't know where my phone is, but it's over there. My favorite character is Luffy. If you say your favorite character is not Luffy, I think you're lying, because I think he's probably the best, one of the best characters in all of anime. And so I actually have him on my phone case. That's why I was looking for my phone. But no, Luffy, absolutely my favorite character. Brook is actually my second favorite character, and then Zoro. It's between Zoro and Nico Robin as who's number 3, but Luffy by far is my favorite character. And it actually pains me to say that, because I'm the kind of anime watcher that I hate it generally when people pick the main character as their favorite character. Like I've always been that guy who's like, I hate that, but like I love Luffy. He always makes me laugh. He's incredible. It's one of the best anime characters ever created.
See, and I don't even like One Piece.
Oh, that's crazy. I think you haven't given it enough time.
Oh, mate, I've
think
watched.
it's
I've had that. I've watched 150 episodes. Yeah, I'm sure it gets good after 250. Right? That's the classic.
Oh, see, I think it gets good from episode one. The first episode when Shanks, when he pulls his gun and he says you only pull your gun when you actually mean to use it, like that kind of hooked me. I was like, damn, okay, this is serious.
Yeah. I mean, like I'm a big anime lover. Like, but for me, it was just like Dragon Ball, Steins Gate. If you've ever seen Steins
love
Gate, like
Steins Gate.
Elven Light is just amazing. Like,
Yeah.
but I think I felt like One Piece was a bit too PC. You know,
It gets just to let you know, there's a point when you meet drug addicted children that are they were forced to become addicted to drugs so they could be experimented on for the government. Like, it gets very deep. There's a reason that all these protests that are going on all over the world are using the One Piece flag as their symbol.
That's pretty cool.
Okay,
Okay,
that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Okay, perfect. So I think we're ready for our segment 6, and we're gonna have this lighting room, but I'm gonna put some music because what? Sorry, like, what's happening here? There's something in the room. It's not fitting. But yeah, so we're gonna put a little bit of chill music there. All right. So I'm excited because usually I know we have Ben Ho. So I will be Ben Ho and Tom will be Wanda. Is that okay?
I can't hear you.
Yes. Okay. I was just making sure that it wasn't just me. I can't hear her either.
Yeah.
You can hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, but you can hear me now. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, you're good now.
Okay, so let's do this. So this time I'm going to be Van Ho and you're going to be Tom. You're going to be Luana. You're okay? We have to adopt this personality so we can make it fun.
Oh,
Okay, let's do it.
I don't have to be Van Ho.
Okay, you want to be Van Ho? I mean, you can be Van Ho. I can stay like Luana. That's okay?
I mean, I don't.
Okay.
I don't, can I just
Tommy is going to do a Van Ho version. Okay, perfect. So let's go.
Fuck. Okay. I'll
Okay.
try.
Okay, so I start. So we're gonna answer. This is going to be like, Michael is going to answer the questions. The questions are for him. Okay, but I'm going to say the question like me. You, Tom, will say the question like Van Ho. So we're gonna make it very entertaining. Okay. Because
Ben Ho, I hope you're watching.
I don't know how to do this.
she is
Yeah.
for sure. Okay, so one word vibe check for Web3 gaming today.
I'm gonna say hope.
What?
Yeah, I think the Web3 gaming space is starting to find that, hey, all this stuff that we were trying to do the last 3 years doesn't work. We actually have to focus on this, and this. And I do see some of these people actually rising to the top. Project O is one that comes to mind. I see so many very, very, very promising things. And that's why I'm super excited to be at the YGG Summit in November in Manila, because I want to see all these other games that I actually think have real possibilities of becoming a huge game.
Okay. tougher feat. Passing the bar exam or launching a Web3 game? How'd I do?
Passing the bar exam. And the reason for that is it is probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my entire life. Not saying that launching a Web3 game hasn't been, but with passing the bar, you get one shot. Well, people do retake it, but you get one shot. If you don't pass it that first time, you have to wait 5-6 more months to go try to study for it again. What a lot of people don't realize, when you're studying for the bar, you can't do anything else. You can't have a job. You can't like you can, but your chances of passing are much lower. So I had no job for 5 months, and all I did for 5 months straight was study for the bar from about 9 a.m. to about maybe 10 p.m. at night. And right before I would go to sleep, I would do this little memorization practice in my head. So definitely that 100%. People don't realize how hard that is.
That must be very hard though.
I've seen
most
some
people don't pass on the first time.
So.
Oh, I know. There's a bunch of people who has failed in the first time, but yeah, for sure. I know it can be tedious to actually study all the.
I mean, don't get me wrong. People like Dookie Dash, but guess what? Dookie Dash isn't a hard game to make, and that's a Web3 game. So I'm gonna say pretty easy, depending on the level of quality that you're looking at.
Mm-hmm. I know, you're right. I guess.
It's the unpopular answer, but it's the true answer.
I know.
It was hard.
Okay. Worst advice you ever acted on?
Ah, worst
Ooh.
advice I ever acted on. Using third-party developers to try to develop the game.
Fair.
100%. We somebody was like, "Oh, I found this company. I've heard good things." We're like, "Oh, sweet." Worst advice. Nice $250,000 down the drain into the dumpster, lighted on fire.
Crazy.
I mean, this is good. This is a good one. We're gonna clip it. This is
I'm gonna do it as me if you're clipping it. I'm not being fucking fan ho for security.
I'm pulling your leg. Relax. Okay.
Right. Grok or ChatGPT or other.
Oh, Gemini.
Yeah, Tim.
100% Gemini. However, Grok for coding includes the new Claude 4.5, but prior to Claude 4.5, Grok was easily night and day better than all the other coding agents.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah.
How about Replit?
Replit's a little different in terms of how it's set up from like an in your command line center like coding agent. I do like Replit though. I think it's a really, really great tool for a lot of people. So I am a big fan of Replit.
Replit or Lovable?
Replit.
Good choice.
Lovable is great, but I always say if you're just starting out, you've never coded anything ever in your life, use Lovable because you're going to learn a lot of things on Lovable to then kind of level up and go to the actual platforms where you can make some really, really cool things. Generic.
I feel like the model for Lovable is really good at front face design, more than Replit. Like it has better ideas in terms of like modern structure.
Yes, the only issue though is after you've seen what Lovable does, all the front end designs start to look the same because they use like similar gradient colors and how it's set up. And I'm like, oh, you use Lovable, huh? And they're like,
I know.
How'd you know that?
Yeah, GPT-5 in the comments. Yeah,
GPT-5 cooks for me. That's interesting.
I'm a Gemini man personally.
Gemini all day.
Consistently good.
I mean, Gemini is I really like the actual video I did today for build mode with the glass and the bubbles. I did it on Gemini. It was like I was using AI to create some stuff, and it was like, oh, this one looks really good. I did the sounds, but like.
However, Sora 2 though does look very impressive. I saw some anime Sora 2 creations, and I was like, okay, this is.
I have to look into it. I have to. There are so many. It's so hard. I need like a full cheat code list of like the amount of applications. There are ones that create all type of like presentations in 5 minutes. So if like there's like really cool. I think it's called
Gamma.
Napkin. Gamma is one, and the other one I think is Napkin, if I'm not mistaken. I think something like that.
I did test out the new open source one 2.2 the other week, and basically what it is like if I uploaded a video into it, I could now make it, and I made a video. I could put any character I wanted who would completely match that video exactly, but not like those crappy TikTok popular videos like from a year ago where people were dancing on stage like they were from Astroworld. Like it's 1-to-1 perfect, and it's scary. I literally took a video of myself, and then I turned myself into my wife perfectly, and it was like scary perfect to the sense that, or to the point that I was like, oh, anybody above the age of 40 is just done for in terms of scams. Like they're gonna get scammed all the time.
Yeah, well, loads of people have been, haven't they? Like loads of like high power CEOs have been like voice duped and fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. So desert island game you never get bored of?
I would have to probably go with Baldur's Gate 3 just because there's so many things that you can do in that game. And if there's a game that I was like, I have to play this over and over and over again for a long time, I think I could do that game pretty well.
Did you ever play BG2?
No, actually I didn't. I didn't.
You have tried it, Tom?
Baldur's Gate? Yeah, I've played every Baldur's Gate, man. And everything's similar. Yeah, Baldur's Gate 2 was like, for the time, it was just so amazing. Okay, if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Teleportation. Easily.
Interesting choice.
I would love that one. Yeah.
My favorite X-Men growing up was Nightcrawler. That even the terrible movie that everybody hated with Hayden Christensen, Jumper. I loved it. Like I would love to be able to teleport.
That is cool.
I would like to teleport. Yeah, I remember wanting to be like very like understand like the mind of others. But
Oh,
then I
like
was
that.
like, I don't know if I want that now.
Yeah, as an adult, no thanks.
You could pull off a Jean Grey. I gotta be honest. Yeah, you could.
No, I will get pissed off so much.
That's Phoenix. Perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
Right on.
Here
Right
we go.
on.
Phoenix actually gonna burn us all to shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. It's your turn.
It's your turn.
No, it's my turn. I said. Oh yeah, it is. Okay.
Ah,
Okay. So weirdest thing you bought this past year?
The weirdest thing. That's an interesting question. I bought this interesting little toothbrush tool that I use for my dog, where it's like a chew bone that she chews, but you can put toothpaste inside of it. And I bought it as an experiment because my dog is 11 and she is the most well-behaved dog ever, but she will not let you brush her teeth. Like she'll clench her jaw to the point where she's gonna like break her teeth. But this works so well. So it's not an ad, but it was a weird purchase, and it's been one of the best purchases that I've made.
cool. That's great.
I love it. I love it. I think like the most weirdest purchase, it was my Shrek waffle maker.
Ah,
Also good. I bought
It
one
was
of those.
really cool.
I got one of those camera pens for looking inside your ears.
oh, we bought that maybe 2022 when it was popular on TikTok because we were influenced by TikTok.
Yeah.
It did not work at all. Our ears ended up being very clean, and I was like, well, this was kind of a waste of money.
Oh, see,
I
mine's
know.
my. I've got a little one, like a 5-year-old, and so you kind of just want to know what's going on in there, you know? Like,
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I did buy this little wand that tests your water to see how many metals are in the water. So maybe that might be the
Ooh.
weirdest thing.
Are you one of those obsessed TikTok shoppers?
No. This wasn't TikTok Shop. This was I don't know. We were curious about it, and it's so cool because we used to have a Brita, and it would show us 184, which is bad, and now we have a new water filtration system, and it shows 0. And I was like, I am so influenced right now. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
One horse-sized duck for sure.
Interesting. I think that's
Yep.
I feel that's the wrong choice. Like
I'm gonna try to jump on its back and strangle it to death.
it's gonna fly and fuck you up.
Unless I can get it first, you know.
I don't know why I want to try the 100 duck size horse.
I know, right? You just kick them, just like boot them everywhere.
Ducks are big. I don't. At least I live in Florida. Our ducks are pretty sizable.
I know. I have
you
a
know, on
bunch
the-
in my
you know the-
yard. I have a
yeah,
bunch.
you know the ones with the weird faces that you don't see up north. Like I don't want 100 of those
Okay, fair.
fighting me. They're
Okay, got
terrifying.
it.
Mine are pretty small. My ducks
Okay,
are
I think
manageable.
this was a Tom's question. Definitely was a Tom's question. It was not my question, but I will say it. So Sydney Sweeney or Sweeney Todd?
Sweeney Todd. Is he the guy with the barber?
Yeah, the murderous barber.
As a happily married man, I'm gonna choose Sweeney Todd.
That's
Smart
good.
choice.
That's
Smart
good.
choice.
That's good. That's
Yep.
good.
Yep. Just
That's some
Sweeney
choices.
Todd and the big titty yap. Yep. I saw you. I saw what you did.
I'm an anime fan. That's what we do.
Isn't that how normal women are proportioned?
Yes, I thought that was very accurate. That's average.
Oh my god.
Oh god, man, this has been so much fun. I've had an absolute blast. Like, I honestly, it's been great. I love the Andromeda is clearly more than just like a game. Like, you've got so much stuff going on. You've built a universe, basically, haven't you? You know, you've got manga, you've got gameplay, you've got AI companions, you've got memory, you've got your own version of Kaito, or other
Yes.
other info.
A creator flywheel, basically.
Yes, yeah. you've got all of that, and this kind of rare IP sort of thing going on. Like, I think it's just insanely amazing.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
No, yeah, for sure. Thank you. Big thanks to Michael for coming to us and share his journey in the Web3 ecosystem as a builder and also in gaming. Check out Andromeda.gg to explore the Jap world and sign up for the beta. Don't forget about that. Also, I'm sure like he will put in the comments of this actual thing, everything about his Discord so you can go there. And always remember to keep building, keep questioning, and keep your build mode on. So see you next Thursday on BUIDLabs with our next special guest. And good night, everybody. Thank you for joining. Thank you,
Bye,
Michael.